Welcome, everybody, to the 10-Minute Book Talk. I'm Katherine Reay, and I'm here with my fantastic hosts, Marie Bostwick and Rachel Linden. And today we have a special treat for you, the Italian Ballerina, with author Kristy Cambron. Kristy, we're so delighted to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, it is fabulous. Kristy and I are good friends, and it's so much fun to interview your friends and great authors. And that's what we do here in the 10-Minute Book Talk. But Kristy, tell us briefly, what is your new novel about? And it's a new release, so congratulations.
Thank you. The Italian Ballerina, brand new release. So this is the story in the Italian Ballerina. It centers on real historical events, love writing that, of Rome's hospital, the Fete Bene Fratelli, if I'm saying that correctly, during World War II, where hospital administrators and the staff invented a fake plague known as Syndrome K. And the Nazi regime was occupied in the city in the autumn of 1943, and the deadly sickness that was fake, Syndrome K, was created as a ruse to fool the authorities and to save Italian Jews from the Holocaust. And of course, because I love to write stories that are both real to life, but some of the darkest moments in history, I wanted to have beauty that comes right up next to that. So you have kind of light and darkness. And so that's where you get the beauty of the stage and the beauty of the arts and the beauty of ballet that comes right into what was happening during World War II. And we have Italy, Rome, also the ballet stage in London. So we get to visit London a little bit. And this is the first novel where I have ever written something of my hometown. And so it actually has Starlight, Indiana. It's a real place and there are stars all over the sky, but that's actually my hometown. So there's a 1940s connection to Starlight, Indiana. So that's a little bit about the story.
That's adorable.
Wow, I love that. And by the way, that cover, oh my goodness gracious, that cover. That is art. Whoever
the cover is art.
Designer that Miss Bostwick says that is art. Well done.
Outdid themselves.
I have not had the joy of reading this book yet, but I'm absolutely going to, because just your description was so intriguing. So I am fascinated, particularly as, you know, all of us have recently just gone through COVID. So, you know, pandemics are an interesting idea. Who came up with this idea of Syndrome K, and what did it supposedly do that became so scary that this obviously creates a safe haven for people?
Well, yeah, it was the hospital administrator, Dr. Borromeo, again, if I'm saying that correctly, and the staff. When the Nazis came in and occupied the hospital, they were looking for a way to save refugees that were already coming in, that were about 200 yards from the Jewish ghetto that had been cleared. And so the refugees were coming to the first place they thought of, which was this hospital and an adjoining church. And so the friars of the church and the hospital staff, they came up with this idea knowing that the Nazi authorities were afraid of illness and sickness. And they thought, this is the way that we can do it. We can have a quarantine ward, but everyone had to get involved in it. And I have to say also, having just been through the pandemic, it was interesting to write a story where when I would cut scene and I would have someone step out of a room, they were like, oh, I have to go get my mask. Because we've all lived it. Like we've all just been through that. Oh, I gotta get my mask. And they were doing that. So it was like front of mind to be in that kind of environment.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh
Can't
my
wait
gosh.
to read this.
I love this. I learned about this actually from a children's book last year that I was reading to my kids, and I just thought it was the most fascinating idea, and loved that they ended up saving a huge number of the Jewish population through this ruse. It was really remarkable. So how did you go about researching? I mean, there's a lot there. Tell us about your research process.
Yeah, so my favorite part of the writing process is actually research. And when we weren't under the pandemic and you can travel, you know, if you've got kids schedule and, you know, budget and all the things align and the stars come together and you can go on site and research, I mean, that is just opportunity number one. Also, speaking to experts, you'll find that anytime you go to a library, or you go to a university, you go to a museum, people who are experts, we love to talk about the things we love. Like we all love to talk about books. That's why we're here. But you have experts who will be very generous with sharing information. And so it was reaching out to experts. It was looking at YouTube videos. I can't tell you how many YouTube videos I researched of just people traveling, walking through Rome, or watching endless ballets, which, hey, that that was just awesome to get to watch ballet on YouTube. I just grabbed some coffee and popcorn and just sat there and was like, okay, yeah, this is research, you know. But yeah, just any opportunity to read. I have books here on my shelf, you know, that were some history of the ballet and history of Rome, and just deep dive into this story and trying to pull things out that would really make it come alive for the readers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was fun.
Oh, that sounds like amazing. I watched Emily in Paris to research my last book. That was a real trial.
That sounds hard. Hard to get through that.
That is terrible research. How did you do it?
Suffering.
Kristy, the book is a non-linear narrative. Did I say that correctly? Non-linear narrative.
Yeah.
It just cuts across in so many different interesting ways. How did you decide to approach it that way? And tell us a little bit about that.
Well, this is a little secret that not everyone knows about me, but I'm a storyteller, but I love spoilers. Give me every spoiler for every book, every movie, I remember going to Target, and when the last Harry Potter book came out, I stood in the aisle and I read the last chapter, and I looked at my husband and I said, okay, I'm good, I'll buy it. And I bought it, and I went home and I spent the next 2 days reading it. So here's why I say that. I know, don't throw things at the computer, y'all. But here's why. But here's why I love that, because I am so interested in character motivation. My novels are all character focused versus, yes, you have World War II, you have plot, things going on, but I'm so interested in why does a character do something? What is their background? What's their experience? What's their lens? And I want to give that to the reader. So very often you have to go back in time. You have to do flashbacks. You have to do memories. You have to do experiences for a character to then understand in the now, why are they making those decisions? So as a viewer or a reader, if I know that spoiler, now I'm not in favor of putting spoilers on Goodreads. Let's just be honest here. Like, I'm not in favor, and I would never do that. But I love to know where the story's going, so I can then focus in on those little ticks and changes in a character's motivation. So that gives me that character experience in a novel. And so I did that with this nonlinear narrative. For me, it's the literary sandwich. I always know the opening scene to a novel, and I always know the ending scene to a novel. That's the first thing that comes to me, but I have no idea how my characters are going to get from this slice of bread through the middle to this slice of bread. And so it's really fun to just have scenes kind of come alive. And I might write the first scene, and then I might write chapter 12, and then I might write chapter 24, and then I'll come back and fill in the gaps, and you have to pull them together. And I will say, I have a fabulous editor, and she cleans up in aisle 6 when my non-linear narrative gets a little scary. She pulls it all together, and between the two of us, we're good to go.
Okay, that's hilarious. I love it. Okay, I like the literary sandwich too, and I've heard you say that before. That's just a wonderful analogy.
It's true.
But it works. You have made a delicious meal, so we appreciate that. So we are number one. We want to congratulate you again. It is so much fun to launch a book. And I hope it's all going beautifully, and we're so excited to be a part of that. But we end with one question. And what is bringing you joy today?
Oh, that's my family, my sister and her family. They live halfway around the globe, and they come home once a year. And so our family is getting together like tomorrow. And so just summer and family and celebrating things like this, celebrating stories. And so that is bringing me tons of joy right now.
That's so fabulous. Well, we wish you all the best and much joy. And please hold the book up once more, because as I said, I flew out of town yesterday without my copy. Y'all, here it is, The Italian Ballerina, an absolutely lovely book on sale now. So please go grab yourself a copy and enjoy finding out about Syndrome K, World War II, the ballet, and all the wonderful things that Kristy has in store for you within its pages. Thanks so much. We will see you again next week for more chats with authors at the 10-Minute Book Talk. Bye-bye.